You're watching Sunrise on KYMA News 11, where news comes first.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, November 13th, 2018. I'm Ivany Villalobos.
And I'm Blake Keller. Thanks for joining us on Sunrise this morning. Here's a look at what's ahead at 6 a.m. Mountain Time, 5 Pacific.
I am so honored that Arizonans chose our vision of a better Arizona.
State officials say Democrat Kyrsten Sinema has defeated Republican Martha McSally to become Arizona's first female senator. More on the conclusion to that race coming up in just a few.
Plus, how high winds and dry weather made it a hard fight for firefighters to battle a blazing Yuma. News 11's Ariana Shell has the details coming up.
Yeah, also on Sunrise, the death toll for 2 wildfires burning at both ends of California continues to rise.
Yeah, the latest on the fires and more. Sunrise starts right now.
Yeah, so again, thanks for joining us this morning. We made it to Tuesday. We'll get to those top headlines in just a bit. But first, we're going to chat with Ivany about our weather conditions here. We know it's kind of crazy in California. But what about here?
And those wind conditions, we also are having them here for us. Not as high as those wind speeds as California saw wind speeds up to 85 miles per hour, not helping the fires at all. So not so much for us here, but let's go outside and take a look at that RV World You Must Skycam and check out what our weather is like for us here this Tuesday morning. So that's a live look out there. That sun expected to rise at around 7:06 later this morning. Right now our winds are pretty breezy with north east at 11 miles per hour. So onto our current temperatures for us this morning, 51 in Yuma, and we're seeing cooler temperatures in Imperial at 42 degrees, 44 in El Centro, 46 are those temperatures in Blythe, and nice and warmer in the YPG area at 49 degrees. As far as today goes, we're going to see the windy conditions gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Other than that, the temperatures are nice and cooler compared to yesterday, with your highs reaching 70 in Yuma, Imperial, El Centro, and for Mexicali as well, 71 in Wilton, and even nice and cooler in the Blythe area at 69 degrees.
Take a look at those border wait times so far this morning. You're seeing a 40-minute wait time in both Calexico East and West port of entries. 30 minutes in your ready lane in Calexico East. Over in San Luis this Tuesday morning, you are seeing an hour delay. 45 minutes, however, in your ready lane.
Well, after a long-fought battle, Arizona has its first female United States Senator, Democratic Congresswoman Kyrsten Sinema.
Yeah, she has won the state's open Senate seat following a vote count that lasted nearly a week after the midterm elections.
Tom Hansen has more on the conclusion to the closely watched race.
I am so honored that Arizonans chose our vision of a better Arizona.
Three-time Arizona Congresswoman Kyrsten Sinema takes over the Senate seat vacated by Republican Jeff Flake. She will be Arizona's first Democratic U.S. Senator since Dennis DeConcini was re-elected in 1988. Sinema focused her campaign on health care, attacking Republican U.S. Representative Martha McSally's leadership in the House last year to repeal Obamacare. Sinema ran as a moderate, willing to work with Republicans to get things done.
Arizona rejected what has become far too common in our country: name-calling, petty personal attacks, and doing and saying whatever it takes just to get elected.
The Senate race cost more than $90 million, including more than $58 million pumped in from outside groups, according to the Federal Election Commission. McSally, the first female Air Force pilot to fly in combat, was elected to Congress in 2014. She congratulated Sinema on a hard-fought battle.
I am convinced Arizona is the best state in the country, and our best days are still yet to come, and I'm going to continue to pray for our success.
Sinema started her career as a social worker and political activist.
Well, Sinema's win gives her Democrats their second Senate pickup of the election. Republicans will still control the Senate.
Yeah, but Democrats will hold at least 47 seats, depending on what happens in the Florida recount and a runoff in Mississippi. Sinema voted for bills backed by President Trump about 60% of the time.
All right, well, new this morning, an anti-human smuggling operation called Operation Blazing Sands took place here in the desert Southwest. El Centro Border Patrol, along with Yuma Sector Border Patrol, conducted Operation Blazing Sands from August 20th to September 30th, apprehending a total of 355 people. Of those, there were 16 car smuggling attempts that left 83 arrested, and during the operation, there were a total of 545 people illegally entering the U.S. Of that number, number 110 ran away from agents.
Well, migrants from the second caravan continued to arrive at a temporary shelter in Mexico City Monday. Several thousand Central American migrants heading for the U.S. border arrived in Mexico City with help from truckers and other motorists, marking a month since their trek began. Now, as with the members of the first caravan, migrants registered with Mexican authorities and were offered food and clothing. Many say they are fleeing rampant poverty, gang violence, and political instability, primarily in the Central American countries of Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, and Nicaragua. Now, President Donald Trump has ordered the deployment of more than 5,000 military troops to the border to fend off those migrants. Well, 6:05 is your time to get a closer look. The windy conditions and dry weather has made it harder for firefighters to put out a blaze in Yuma here over the weekend.
Yeah, News 11's Ariana Shell spoke to a representative from rural Metro, and she joins us live in the studio with more. Ariana.
Good morning, Blake and Ivany. Now, multiple agencies responded to a palm tree fire near West 8th Street Sunday. Considering the fires in California, rural Metro is hoping Yuma will keep these fire tips in mind to keep their homes safe.
The initial fire at this home was sparked by electrical wires and burning brush down below, but severe winds over the weekend made it worse. Rural Metro had to upgrade the severity of the fire, calling for additional backup.
So with the amount of wind we had and the type of fire it was and how close all of those houses are together and all of the overgrowth and the brush in the area, we called mutual aid for assistance.
McMurdy attributes the amount of time it took to put out the fire with the strong winds.
The wind has a strong effect on fire behavior. It dries out your fuels and in turn helps them burn quicker and hotter.
When firefighters first arrive on scene, their first priority is to put out the fire closest to them.
When firefighters get on scene, they put the fire out that's closest to them. So if the yard's on fire, the tree's on fire, that's the direction they want to go.
With the recent strong wind conditions, McMurdy urges residents to observe the conditions outside before lighting a recreational fire. Trees, dry brush, and awnings can easily catch fire.
Well, some things that you do want to look at is if you're going to go out and set up your bonfire in the backyard or your fire pit, look at the conditions around that fire pit.
In the California Woolsey fire, strong winds and dry brush are a large factor in how quickly the fire has spread. As of Monday, the fire has consumed more than 6,000 homes and 111,000 acres.
Last night was a tough night. As the fire jumped the 101 and ran into Malibu, it was quite a fight. But what I can say is, again, your first responders, your law enforcement officers, your firefighters made heroic efforts in saving lives and protecting property.
Authorities said that this fire has caused a total of 29 deaths, matching the deadliest fire in state history.
All residents were evacuated during the local fire and no injuries were reported. One home, however, was deemed a total loss while another home suffered damage to the garage. For more safety tips, you can visit our website at KYMA.com. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Ariana Shell, News 11. Back to you, Blake and Ivany.
All right, Ariana, thank you so much for that this morning. Well, new this morning, 2 wildfires burning at both ends of California have claimed at least 44 lives. Officials say the so-called Camp Fire in Northern California is responsible for 42 deaths. The blaze, which was sparked on Thursday morning, has charred 117,000 acres and is 30% contained. In addition, it has destroyed more than 7,000 structures. And in Southern California, the so-called Woolsey Fire has claimed at least 2 lives. And as of Monday afternoon, the blaze has burned over 90,000 acres and is 20% contained.
Well, opening statements begin today in the trial of accused Mexican drug lord El Chapo. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman Loera is standing trial in New York City on a 17-count indictment on charges spanning more than 25 years. He is accused of trafficking over 440,000 pounds of cocaine, among mountains of other drugs. Now, El Chapo is also accused of maintaining power over his Sinaloa cartel through murder, kidnappings, and torture. Federal authorities are looking to seize $14 billion in assets from El Chapo.
Well, Stan Lee, the man who created much of the Marvel Universe, died yesterday at the age of 95. Lee created some of the greatest superheroes in the world of comic books like Spider-Man and Iron Man, and those characters are now a staple of the film industry. He published his first work in 1941, a filler story in Captain America comics, and then in the 1960s, he co-created the characters the Fantastic Four, Thor, Doctor Strange, and the X-Men. On Monday, comic book fans gathered to remember Stan Lee at his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Well, taking a local look here, the Yuma County Sheriff's Office is on the lookout for this man, 72-year-old Ronald James Lee. He is known by his friends as Captain Ron, and he was last seen in front of Du Bois Pizza Saturday morning and might be driving his blue and gray 1969 El Camino. If you have any information, you are urged to contact YCSO.
Now, there are many jobs in the farm field, from the farmer and growers to field workers and tractor drivers, but there's another important job in the agriculture industry, an agronomist. Now, Nate Dorsey is one agronomist here in Yuma who specializes in precision agriculture, which means that he helps farmers use technology to improve their efficiency, be more profitable, and of course, farm better. Dorsey tells News 11 what makes him most excited about working in ag and is being able to find solutions for farmers.
The way that I explain being an agronomist is basically just being an agricultural scientist. You really have to know as many things as you can about agriculture. So that's, biology, how plants grow, how they use water, how they use nutrients, but also things like weather and soils. There's a lot of different things that come into play with agronomy. A lot of agronomists kind of specialize in different things, like looking out for bugs or diseases in plants. So it's pretty varied, but pretty much anything that is going on a farm, an agronomist is really expected to be an expert on all of that.
Dorsey is also the expert that teaches the tractor operators how to work of the new technology advances in all of the tractors.
All right, so a question for you is, have you entered for Firehouse Fridays? Because each Friday during the 6 a.m. show, we will announce a winner of a Firehouse Subs catering platter. So all you have to do to win is enter at KYMA.com.
And this Friday, we're partnering up with Crossroads Missions for our annual Share Your Holiday Turkey Drive. We'll be out at the Walmart in the foothills and the Walmart on Pacific Avenue.
Yeah, at this all-day event, which starts at 6 a.m. and ends at 10, you'll have the opportunity to donate turkeys, canned food, and money to those in need for the upcoming holiday. And this year, businesses are challenged to donate and call out competition.
Yeah, Facebook Live mentions will be done for all businesses donating 5 or more turkeys. The KYMA News 11 team will be out there collecting, so be sure to stop by. Again, this is this Friday, November 16th.
All right, looking forward to it. But still ahead on Sunrise, election results across the country still left in the air. This as Congress returns to Washington. But what challenges are currently in their way? We'll have those details in politics. And in your News 11 Healthline report, the U.S. government has changed guidelines to the amount of exercise we should be getting, what it reveals, and how it currently impacts our healthcare system. Also still to come.
And also on Sunrise, were you chilly last night? We'll tell you why the temperatures are cooling down and more in your weather forecast right after the break. Don't go anywhere.